Meanwhile, Amara lay fast asleep on the couch when she suddenly jolted upright, a scream tearing from her throat as though she had been dragged out of the most terrifying nightmare. Her entire body was drenched in sweat, her breath uneven, her chest heaving violently. Momo rushed out of the study immediately, her heart dropping at the sight of Amara sitting there in visible distress. She hurried to her side and sat beside her, concern etched deeply into her face as she asked what had happened, why she was in such a state. Amara looked at her and explained that she had just had a nightmare. She told her that she had dreamed of walking into a mortuary, only to find Leeway's body lying there lifeless. As she spoke, her body trembled uncontrollably, fear wrapping itself tightly around her. Momo held her hands firmly, grounding her, telling her that it was only a dream, that Leeway was fine, that she needed to calm down. Amara looked at her, her eyes glossy with tears, and stated that it had felt too real. She described seeing his body pale and still, and admitted that the fear had overwhelmed her, especially because all she could do now was sit and wait, not knowing what kind of news she was waiting for. Momo felt her own eyes burn as she listened. It was the first time she had ever seen Amara this broken, this terrified. The fear in her eyes was raw and unmistakable. Amara suddenly stood up, panic fueling her movements as she told Momo that she had to go find him, that she had to bring him back. She rushed toward the door, desperation driving her forward, but Momo stood immediately and stopped her. She held her hands tightly and asked her to look at her. Amara slowly did, her eyes shaking. Momo leaned in closer and told her that everything was going to be okay. She reassured her that Leeway would come back, that he would marry her, that they would be happy together. She urged her to calm down and keep waiting, telling her that soon Leeway would walk through that door and pull her into his arms. Trying to ease the moment, she added that he might even take her to the bedroom afterward and do all the things she loved. She searched Amara's face for a smile, but none came. Instead, she gently guided her back to the couch, making her lie down and rest her head on her lap. Momo caressed her hair slowly and massaged her head, ensuring that her breathing gradually steadied, staying with her until the tension in her body softened. Elsewhere, Leeway stood facing his assistant, the chain still wrapped tightly around the man's neck. He leaned in again, demanding to know who the mastermind was and why he was here covering for him. The assistant laughed lightly, his gaze unflinching, and told him that he would never catch him. He mocked him, calling him a child, a weak child, consumed and softened by love. He continued, taunting him further, stating that Leeway had allowed a woman to weaken him. Still laughing, he added that he wondered how Amara tasted to make Leeway such a pathetic version of himself, suggesting that he should have taken a bite of that dark chocolate too. That was when something inside Leeway shifted. His grip tightened instantly, far more brutal than before. He moved behind him, the chain digging deep as he leaned in and whispered that he did not need him to tell him who the mastermind was. He would hunt him down himself. With that, he pulled harder, the chain tightening relentlessly as the assistant scoffed and coughed, clearly struggling, his life draining away with every second. Leeway did not stop. His attention was suddenly drawn to a small camera mounted nearby. He turned the chair deliberately, ensuring the assistant faced the camera directly. His grip remained firm, his gaze lifting toward the lens as well, making sure whoever was watching could see everything clearly. He wanted them to see what he was capable of, to understand exactly what he would do to them. Moments later, the assistant took his final breath. His body slackened, life leaving him completely. Leeway loosened the chain and let him fall still. He walked toward the camera slowly, his expression unrelenting, his eyes dark and void of mercy. Leaning in close, he stated that he was coming for whoever was behind this, that they should be prepared. With that, he ripped the camera out and destroyed it. He then walked out of the room, where Master Shen's men had already dealt with the guards. His eyes immediately caught Wu Bin standing among them, a gun in his hand. Before Leeway could speak, Wubin rushed toward him, asking if he was okay and expressing relief that he had come out alive. Leeway nodded and asked what he was doing there. Wubin explained that he and Kai had been following them. He asked if everything was done. Leeway shook his head and stated that it was far from over. He took a gun from one of Master Shen's men and told them that they had only completed level 1. He explained that the building was massive with many floors, and that the mastermind was still alive. He was certain the man was still somewhere inside. The operation was not finished. He scanned the area and asked where Master Shen was. One of the men replied that they had only received his signal, but had not seen him. Leeway stated that they would continue the mission and that no one was to leave the building until the mastermind was within their grasp. With that, he adjusted his grip on the gun and stepped into the elevator. Wubin followed immediately, standing beside him. Leeway glanced at him and questioned what he was doing, telling him that this was his problem and that he did not need to risk his life. Wubin chuckled, replying that the mission looked fun and that he did not like being left out of fun things. Leaning in slightly, he stated that he saw a reflection of himself in Leeway, that they were the same, and that he never thought he would meet someone exactly like him. He suggested that Leeway consider this more of a friendship date, a chance to get to know each other better. Leeway said nothing. He simply chuckled in amusement, then looked at him and told him that he was welcome to the hunt. But if he came out dead, he should not blame him, as he had chosen this himself. Wubin smiled and nodded. The elevator doors closed, guns in their hands, as it ascended.